Hello, dear ones. Happy Saturday. Hope you all are well and enjoying. Here on the East Coast, we have a rather gray day. Started out with beautiful fog and now some rain. And that is what we are going to focus on today, of course, is rain or what the indigenous have been doing for thousands of years, which is rain making. Now, in our current day, that may sound a little strange, or it may sound as if it were a story, a myth, but in fact, cultures around the world have been rainmaking for thousands upon thousands of years. Different cultures did so in different ways, but the primary or underlying ability to make rain is the deep connection to nature and the earth itself and the divine. And in that deep relationship, which is what we in modern day society, living in society in cities and in suburbs where there's more and more light at night, there's more and more fences, more and more chemicals used, more and more clear cutting. We don't have the opportunity or take the opportunity to truly get to know our neighbors, our friends, our family, as the critters around us, the birds, the trees. And it is in this disconnect that things are out of harmony and out of balance around the world. In indigenous cultures, again, around the world, there is the ability to read and feel the weather patterns and to know how to bring it back into balance. There was always the knowing that man's connection or man's state has a deep and direct effect on weather patterns, on the earth, on growing, farming, etc. And when this is not maintained, we have, like any relationship, if you have friends and family and you do not make it a point to connect with them, to speak to them, communicate with them, spend time with them, that relationship is going to be damaged or fall away. So too with the earth. We are physically, energetically, deeply intertwined and symbiotically interconnected with the earth, with nature. And this is going both ways, both an imbalance and a disharmony on the earth and in nature, which is giving rise to the wildfires in Australia, the fires in California, the fires in the Amazon, although much of that is man-made. There are natural fires every year that bring balance to an environment. There is a certain level of burning that is necessary for growth, for the regeneration, for the revitalization of the soil and all of the participants. Again, we have mushrooms. There's so many things that combine for an ecosystem. And it is a circular system. One thing feeds another, which grows another, which destroys another, which then allows for space for another to grow. And when that cycle or circle is broken, we have the disastrous weather results that we do with the type of flooding. Again, I mentioned in yesterday's Facebook Live, Indonesia is absolutely inundated. It's been flooding for quite some time. The Navy actually seeded the clouds to cause a reduction in the rain. Now, that is a way to control things and to intervene, yet it is that broken relationship that truly is putting things out of balance to begin with. So I invite you all, it's really, really vital that we every single day are aware of our environment, are aware of the elements around us. The Indigenous walk in beauty is a statement or a phrase you might have heard, and that refers to a way of being aware of and in connection to all that is around you in nature, in the animals, in the weather, the clouds, the sun, the rain. Again, how much of that do we do? When you wash your dishes, do you allow the water to just run and run and run and run? Or brush your teeth, is there water just going down the drain? How many of you are aware of the many companies, including Nestle, who are emptying our aquifers to put bottled water? This is water that is ours. This is water that belongs to everyone. And it is being siphoned off and bottled, and we're buying it. So it is up to each one of us to be aware of and to be conscious of how we are interacting with the elements and with the earth. And so I invite you, if you do not have a glass of water, I invite you to always, when any sort of meditation or energetic practice, certainly when you're working with me, because we do very deep energetics, that you have a very large glass of water on hand. And I want you to really experience that water. So those of you that don't have water, please go ahead and grab some. And in the meantime, I invite you to, again, if you're on the East Coast, it's very easy to look outside and see the puddles or the droplets. I have a gazebo outside that uses a canvas awning, which I have taken off, and on the entire metal frame, there are little droplets of water all around, and it's so beautiful to be able to look out and see each little droplet hanging there suspended until such time as wind or more rain comes. And you know, another opportunity to not only see the beauty of water, but to commune with it in that way. I'm from San Francisco, so this morning's fog and yesterday's fog in the city was a treat for me. And all of these are forms of water, which we're going to call in a few minutes. But I really want to emphasize the way of the indigenous as rainmakers for so many thousands of years. And that was truly an art. It was a gift that was people apprenticed in rainmaking. If they tended to have a gift, they were very carefully taught over years and years how to hone that gift, how to more intimately and profoundly communicate with and commune with the element of water. And over many, many years of training, the different practices around the world. I know in Africa, there's a particular mountain or hilltop where the shaman would go to call upon the rain. Farmers would come and request their services. Certainly in Australia, there's a way in which the Aboriginals have been with the earth, co-creating with the earth since the dawn of time. And their way of water or rainmaking. Very often there's a story of a water hole, and that water hole was tended to, and it's in one of the most arid places on the planet, in Australia, as a matter of fact. And that water hole was seen as sacred and cared for and tended to by the rainmakers and by the water watchers. And when the Aboriginals were moved off the land for cattle ranches, that water hole dried up because it wasn't being tended to. There was no longer anyone to be in relationship with it. And when a shaman went back many years later to see the water hole, he said that the land had lost its soul because no one was there caring for it. And this is really, really key, because we all know that when we are not cared for, certainly as children, there is a piece of our humanness and there's a little piece of our soul that gets separated. That's why most of my work is based in soul reconnection, because through that piece of lost humanness lies a piece of the soul that wants to be brought forth when transformed and transmuted. That piece wants to be brought forth into the world through the expression of your essence. So this sensation we can all relate to of not being cared for in one way or another. We're not caring for one another around the world. When we hear something horrific happening, like the many deaths in Australia, oh, that's a shame, oh, my heart goes out, and then on to the next thing. So we've lost a deep sense of not only caring for, but really feeling, whether it's another person, another area of the world, the land, the animals, the insects. Okay, we must come back to a feeling sense. And yes, of course, that is very, very difficult when we do not actually feel ourselves. And that is the whole transformation, evolutionary process that we're going through. When you can be truly in your own authentic being, you are able to feel yourself, your emotions, your inner workings, your intuitive information, and thereby open up your feeling or sensing of other, such as nature aspects, animals, the world around you, the sky, the clouds, etc. It's very difficult to feel them if you do not feel yourself. So today we're really focusing on the indigenous way of communing, feeling, knowing, understanding, communicating with, listening to the land, nature, weather patterns, animals, insects. To walk in beauty is to be aware of your relationship to all things and the interrelationship of all things. And again, you may have heard often even of the American Indian or Amerindian practices of rainmaking. The Zuni were very, very known for this practice, but all tribes had some relationship or recognition of the connection between nature, the elements, and man. And that's what I'm going to invite you to experience today. And those of you who are sensitive to energy are noticing that the energetics have already started to join us, move in. And again, since this is an alchemical process, we have quite a few different types of energetics joining us today. And if you have noticed any, please make comment in the comment space of what you're observing, what you're noticing as far as specific totems, energies, symbols, anything that you're aware of that is present recently. But again, I'm going to call in more energetics, some of the ones that I've already been working with this morning in preparation for this meditation. And certainly we have the Master Gatekeeper opening all doors, portals, and passages that can benefit us, and closing all doors, portals, and passageways that can in any way cause harm to you, me, anyone participating or related to. I have invoked universal spiritual law to oversee and guide this practice so that nothing is outside of law, universal spiritual law. For we must acknowledge that we live in a universe of duality, and both and all aspects of that duality are part of the divine, and therefore have the right to fulfill their being. Destruction, death, is part of that duality and must needs exist. But as co-creators of this reality, we can choose, in this case, to cease some of the destruction of the wildfires and the death by inviting, calling upon, connecting to, deeply communicating and communing with the element of water. Weather is a very complex and sophisticated system. And if any of you have heard of the butterfly effect, where the wings of a butterfly on one side of the planet have an effect on the other side of the planet, then you may realize how profoundly your embodiment of the element of water can influence and call in rain for and on behalf of Australia. And again, if you may have been already feeling the energetics or feeling something in your body, that's wonderful. If not, I'm going to invite you at this point in time to just kind of let go and allow your energy field and your wider self to drop you into a deeper state of you. It might even feel like you're getting sleepy and want to close your eyes, and that's perfectly fine. Other people may find it more better, or may find it easier to leave their eyes 1/10 of a slit open so that you are able to be in and with your body and through the vehicle of your body to then sense the energetics that are here. But I do invite you to allow, to truly allow for this process. And helping that process by utilizing all of your senses and your deep senses to commune with the element of water. As I invited you earlier to have a glass of water handy, maybe even taking a sip to feel that water on your lips, on your tongue, in your mouth, swishing it around a bit, hearing the sound of water moving, feeling it going down your throat, your esophagus. Experiencing, if you went out today into that beautiful fog and mist, or stepped in a puddle, truly invite in through your experience, through your physical experience of water. Again, as I mentioned earlier, the indigenous around the world trained in the art of rainmaking were able to communicate and commune with and collaborate with and cooperate with the element of water. So I invite you to allow water in all its many forms to be in your awareness right now. Not just thinking about it, because thinking maintains it on a mental level. Even if you're going out to a higher mind level, it's not as powerful as that within you. For you are here now. You are deeply, symbiotically interconnected and interrelated with the water of this planet. Your body itself is made up primarily of water. Ours is a unique planet within our solar system in the way water occurs, in the way water interacts with the cycle of water. All and so much more would you have been introduced to and studied if you were a rainmaker in any of the indigenous cultures around the world. So I invite you now to rebuild your relationship with water in all its many forms, be it rain that we are calling upon now, lakes, rivers, seas, swamps, ponds, ice, snow, it's the only element that is found in all three forms of a solid, a liquid, and a gaseous state. You see steam, another form of water. Waterfalls, rapids, underground springs, geysers, dew, some ecosystems exist entirely on the dew created from the drop of temperature at night in an otherwise harsh environment. Creeks, you remember it all, playing by a creek, exploring a creek as a child. Really allow yourself to embody water through your senses. Touch, sight, smell, taste, feel, hearing the sound of trickling water, the sound of a powerful waterfall. One of my clients sent me pictures from Niagara when she went over the holidays. So many beautiful forms of water and their intricate and intimate relationship with the clouds, the soil, lightning and thunder, evaporation, So much occurs to bring rain and keep in balance the cycles and systems of this planet. And it is our disconnect or not caring for that most indigenous and many spiritual traditions see as the cause or impetus for this radical change in climate and imbalance of the elements. You don't really need to pay attention to what I'm saying as much as allow the vibration of my voice to cooperate with your system, your energy field, your wider self, to bring you to a deeper state, a deeper relationship, both with yourself and the element of water. For it is in that co-creative effort that can influence or affect our environment, in this case, transmitting that element of water to the areas in Australia. But moreover, it is the deep awareness, conscious relationship with the earth, with yourself as a partner and co-creator of this earth reality, that you have a specific effect. And again, the more powerfully you are able to sensate inside you and your physioenergetic experience of water, very much with your physical senses at first, deeply sitting in, so to speak, water, the element of water. For that is how you transmit. It is truly your energy field, your inner being, your essence, which has the power to not just think about, but to actually transmit the element of water to another part of the world. But more importantly, if it brings you into deeper relationship with water, the element of water, making daily choices to be in relationship with, respectful relationship, honoring relationship, cooperative relationship, being able to tune into your body's need for water or excess water. Interestingly, over the past few weeks, kidneys have been very, very, very prominent. And the kidneys are what regulate the water in our own bodies. So to be very aware of, conscious of, in relationship with the element of water allows you to be in harmony and balance and communication with the water in your own system. So I'm just giving you a moment or two to really deepen this practice, deepen into you as water, you with water, you from water, you as water, as well as in relationship with the element of water. So that throughout the day and days ahead, every time you turn on the tap, every time you take a sip, you are able to more clearly, potently transmit the element of water to Australia. When we gather together as a group, it is so much more potent, exponentially so, but you have great power in and of yourself to be in relationship with the earth and therefore send to Australia at any moment of any day. Now I'm going to invite you to really allow your energy field and your wider self to slowly and gently, or rather gently and at your speed, the exact right rate, and in the exact right way, to come to a more physicalized experience of yourself. For many have dropped in very, very deeply, and been sitting in a less physical experience. So really allow that integration process from the less physical to the more physical, and allow your energy field and your wider self to do so rather than your head. And as that integration, if you, again, those who are sensitive can really feel the integration process occurring and even speeding up a little bit. But again, respect and value your own way. If you would like to continue to sit in this, you are welcome to do so, or to tune in to this video or yesterday's. I will also be conducting another practice tomorrow, Sunday, at 12:45, and on Monday again at 11:45. Please join me, for it is exponential when multiple people are gathered. And just a reminder, on the 11th, we're going to be using the element of water, among other things, for a cleansing, renewal, and revitalization workshop. The 11th, starting at 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. It's an all-day reset for multiple levels of you. Cleansing, clearing for 2020. Good. And interestingly enough, we're going to have at least one oil today, as I do every day before getting dressed. I ask the oils for a message, and they do so by guiding me kinesthetically. I'm not looking at them. Kinesthetically means sensating them. And they tell me where they're going to go, and I'm able to interpret what they're saying through where it's going on the body, represented by the energy field and the characteristics or personality almost of the oil itself, be it a single or a blend. And today, one of the oils was Australian Blue, which is very much about being authentic and living in your truth. And it does come from Australia. These are Young Living oils, by the way. And another prominent oil in my message this morning and on my body itself was eucalyptus polybractea. And as we know, eucalyptus is a very specific and significant and representative and symbolic tree of Australia, so many of which have been lost, which the koalas feed off of. Please keep your hearts open, and again, every time you touch, see, feel water, whether in your body or outside of your body throughout the day, please just send a little bit of your experience of that element to Australia for rain to cease the wildfires. My deep appreciation, gratitude, and love for you, your significant role in this evolutionary process, and for joining me here and in any way that you do. Be well, have a fabulous Saturday, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow, Sunday at 12:45. Please pass the word, because as I said, the more people join us, the more powerful and potent the practice. Much love. Bye.